All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next topic of discussion focuses on the evolving role and future of the pharma sales representative that throws light on the various initiatives that can maximize the ROI of your company structure and the unique needs of your product. Spearheading this session would be our next speaker, who is heading the sales and marketing cardio diabetic in his role as commercial head sales and marketing at Dr. Reddy's lab. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Archis Joshi. Can we please have you on stage, sir?
So this is my, basically if I have to summarize my topic, and literally I have some pressure after talking Rajput sir, correct, on this. So guys, something which I am going to talk will be more of experiential. And I think we had today a lot of discussions, about many good things which are happening. Probably my session will cover many good things which are not happening in that. We have to look at, basically the forthcoming challenges. Like we are habitual for the set of challenges we have been handling traditionally. And what is the future which will be there? And as a pharma person, what are the challenges we need to handle in the future? This is something which I want to cover. So basically, when we drive a car, while driving a car, what is our visibility? Maximum 10 meters. On the highways, you see with lot of excitement, we drive so fast. But हमें ये नहीं मालूम होता आगे कितना traffic है. So our journey while driving a car is with only 50 meters of visibility. We don't see beyond that. Unless we have some GPRS available, unless the Google helps, we are not able to plan our journey in what time we are going to reach there. Similarly, when we look at, we move in today's pharma world with a very blunted marketing skills. Like the same thing happening routinely, only the company tag change, the brand tag changes, right? And the things are happening in the same way. I think if we are able to look little far ahead, I think this will able to, give a lot of insights for us to what skills we need to adopt in the coming days. So basically what will be these forthcoming skills, forthcoming challenges, and what are the suitable skills to adopt that? That is something which I am going to cover in my today's topic, because that is something which will ultimately enable a medical rep to sustain in the coming days. So when we look at, the challenges which are there in the market. Now, let us take certain very common examples which everybody faces every year. Now, if I talk about NLEM, this is not new. Anybody who has spent 5 years into marketing, he knows that every new year, one of the big profitable cash cow brand is going into NLEM. Now, what is that? Means many times I have seen, company people, they either give up on this, correct? They overlook at it, they focus on something else. But when we look at this, there is a pattern. In this pattern, you are going to observe that these are the things which are going to happen. I need to really stagger. If today this brand has gone, there is a possibility my next cash cow brand will go into this. Now, if this is going to happen, right, my first challenge is that, how I am going to react to this. I am just going to accept it, whether I am a salesperson, whether I am a marketing person, whether I am a P&L head, but am I having a defined overlook to handle this? Today, if you talk about a brand plan, every company has a fixed pattern. Everybody will work on that pattern. But you ask yourself whether your brand plan has any component. If your brand goes into NLEM, are you going to think on that? Yeah, or you are going to leave it as it is? So when you look at your such products, do you have any plan for the PLC? Is there any solution in the product life cycle you are going to come up? Is there some disruption where you are going to, balance that bottom line? Because over a period of time, when you are going to grow, you will have to see that, if you are going to get a X bottom line, then whatever happens, at the end of the day, you will have to maintain that X bottom line. Then you come out with some innovative solution with the PLC, you come out with some solution with some other thing, but then you will have to think as a marketer or as a salesperson that this particular bottom line I should keep intact, and that is one of my responsibilities. That is something which should be adopted in my thought process, and that should be something which should be part of my planning. So if I see NLEM is going to be your challenge in the coming days, then I see the people who need to adopt the changes. I see people who need to adopt, adopt their approach with respect to how they are going to look at the PLC. people are just giving up. But can you look at new avenues of geography? At least you look at top lines. There are many teams, like many companies I have seen, they have started their rural teams. If the product is coming down in the price, can you take some aggressive top lines into the rural teams? Can you manage that? But problem is that, more and more you see into your plans, there is a same methodical flow which continues. It doesn't address this separately. So I feel, if the challenge is going to be the NLEM, if the challenge is going to be the profitability, then what is going to be the skill that a marketeer or a salesperson he needs to adopt in the coming days is that to first develop a vision that is something which is his own responsibility. This is something which is manageable, and there are certain routes with respect to some disruptions can be there into PLC, some disruptions can be done with respect to geography. There can be a completely different CAM strategy. There can be a new hospital entries with that. Right? There can be so many expansion strategies where a marketeer should stand in front of organization and tell, okay, there is a 30% loss into the price, but I have a plan which will work on 2-3 imperatives which will make the bottom line intact. I think if that something happens, this will help you to prepare for your forthcoming skill. Because if you ask me, this is certain. Today I am worried my next 3 brands where the prices will come under control. And if I don't think about that today, how I am going to manage bottom line with that, then I will have only option of reducing my people over a period of time, which I feel in my next slide is not going to be the option, because people importance in the coming days is going to be absolutely immense. When I look at the development of this corporate business, corporate hospitals, see, if you look at the growth of corporate hospitals, you go to Delhi, Mumbai fieldwork or Chennai fieldwork, where you go for fieldwork? You go to all corporate hospitals. Now, when you go to the corporate hospitals, see, the entries into the corporate hospitals is a different ballgame. Your normal behavior change is not going to apply to these places. In these places, everything is negotiation. There is a rate, there is an entry, there are 3 brands. Your entry is your rate limiting step into the hospitals, and these corporate hospitals are growing day by day. Now, if this is going to be my challenge, my brand plans are aiming at behavior change. That behavior change is no way going to impact here, because the ball game is going to be different here. Now, if this ball game is different, then am I preparing by design, or I am leaving it to the wisdom of my sales force smartness, how they are going to adjust? Are you getting it? So, I feel, the corporate hospitals, their growth, the rate dependent improvement in the contribution of the business, this is the challenge, and this is going to impact, in a very different way. See, we have, fortunately I have worked in certain companies where, we have lot of robustness of the data. So if you little deep dive into this problem, this all corporate hospital segment, you can bucket into 3 parts. The first bucket is that, where there are a set of hospitals where recommendations are required, right? Where nothing else is required. First, there are very key people. You go and meet a CAM person. That CAM person will tell, boss, this hospital, these 4 departments, in these 4 departments, these are the 4 key people who are decision makers. Their letter of authority, that is something which will only work to make your brand available. That is one cut. There is a second set of hospitals where they will say, here, these people, they will recommend, but along with that, you will have to show me at least 10 to 15 prescriptions coming over there. So only recommendation is not going to work. One set only recommendation will work, second set recommendation plus prescription will work, and there are third set of hospital where they are not bothered about first and second, their only rate will work, whatever you do. So if I am into chronic and my 20% business is going to be dependent on the corporate hospitals and their chain, where there is going to be a central contract at head office, then am I as a marketeer or as a salesperson going to control this, or am I going to react on this? So if I have to add a skill in the coming days, I would like to see, what is going to be my strategy, my designed approach, my design strategy to address bucket number 1, bucket number 2, bucket number 3. What are the goals I set to this 20% business, which is into a bucket, which probably looks from a distance that is out of my control, right? And bring a very tangible growth into that. So from today's, just starting from the prescriber, prescriptions, indications, geography, if you start moving towards this corporate business and bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3, define a strategy, simplify it to people, right? And get some measurable growth into that. So the challenge is there, but I feel, this is a place where you will able to get very, very clear roadways in terms of getting the success. Third one is the generic business which is there. See, many of us are not aware. The evolution of the generic business came in India with a concept. Everybody thought, the generic business will take the big market share into the rural markets. Because they felt, Indian definition of generic is very dicey. US definition of generic is different. Indian definition of generic is that where chemist has a very high margin. The prices are same, discounts are 80%. So this industry reacted to generics with a thought process that the rural, uneducated, unorganized market, there the chemist will take advantage of generics, and this industry will not dent into the metros and will create more and more impact into this market. But when you look at, the today's situation, what's happening? If you look at today's situation, guys, I would like to read one LinkedIn post by one of the very top pharma guy. He said, when I was moving on to the Bandra streets, I just happened to pass through this Zeno medical shop, which is generic medical shop. Just, he said, I bounced there and I was observing what's happening. He said the person gave me in-depth information about how generics are going to be different from your branded medicines. What are the benefits of that? He has mentioned there was a very healthy queue of educated people with their monthly quota of chronic medicines and strips in their hand, and to get it replaced over there. So our perception, that these businesses are going to impact more and more into rural, I think that is getting challenged, and in metros where more and more educated people are there, this is getting concentrated there. The place I stay is Thane in Mumbai. There initially 2 years back there was one generic store. Today there are at least 130 generic medicine stores which are there, and most of the people who stay in a society where their monthly maintenance is more than 15,000 rupees, all post society people are getting the deliveries at home from these generic medicine chains which are replacing your and my prescriptions. Now my simple question to all of you is that, that if you have a leaking bucket, where this leakage is happening without your consciousness, first of all, as a marketeer, I would like to throw a challenge to you. How many of us are aware about this? How many of us are aware about measurability of this? Do you have any data? Or if you do not have any data, there are so many good market research agencies. Put the agency into work. Just find out what is going to be your damage for your existing business which is happening over here. Because before you come out with any solution, it is very important that you at least understand problem, at least understand gravity of the problem, bucket that problem with respect to what is the quantum in which it is going to get affected. And if you think logically into that, unless and until you develop an attitude to look at it, this can be my independent business lever. If I am able to do something at a corporate level to arrest this particular leakage which is happening into the business. Right. So, moral of the story is, guys, please observe the quality of queue of people standing over there. They are highly educated people. Look at the quantum of medicines they are purchasing. Are you getting it? And this is something which is taking away very big share of your and our efforts. And if you and I are not going to come out with solution, if you and I are not going to develop a skill of balancing this particular business, I think this is something which will go on creating you a bigger dent. If you have to manage this, the only way is that you will have to find out one more business lever which is going to help me to arrest this particular bucket. But how many of you in today's situation will able to develop this? Today the biggest challenge is to get a prescription. Today the biggest challenge is to build a new brand. It's not easy. The bigger brands are becoming even bigger, but developing a new thing, arresting these things, look at it how big, in terms of ROI you can get into this particular bucket. If you look at the government policies, this is very interesting because government is coming out with policies, government will come out with certain policies. We have observed 194R when there was discussion about Modi Care. there were 2-3 MNCs who very clearly approached government with a position that for our top brands which are there in the market, we will come with the same alternative for Modi Care, which will help them to penetrate into that. Now, if such things are coming up, are we getting caught, completely unaware into that, or we have a strategy? So, what is going to be your approach to the challenge of the possible changes which are happening into the government policy? See, I will tell you a very interesting thing. See, pharma industry, I may be completely wrong because many of the people whom I respected in my life are sitting over here, but I see pharma industry into simple 3 buckets. There is a HCP, there are strategies, and there is a field force, right? We aim at behavior change of HCP, right? For that, we have field force who take the strategy to the HCP and the behavior change is done. Now, if you see what was the source of this behavior change, the source of behavior change when my boss was working in Pfizer that time, even a small micro information on penicillin they used to give, or even Becosuls they used to give, that time doctor used to listen, understand, and that information used to create an impact and behavior change and a prescription that days. But now if you see, from those days, there is every small town their own conferences. There is a plethora of knowledge available digitally. There are plethora of conferences happening everywhere. So knowledge resources of the doctor are becoming independent of pharma company. They feel we are not dependent on them. हमारे एसोसिएशन से हम वहाँ से नॉलेज लेंगे, डिजिटली इतना सब कुछ अवेलेबल है, दे विल टेक इन्फॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम देयर. सो ही इज बिकमिंग मोर एंड मोर इंसुलेटेड for this behavior change through the knowledge driven efforts which are happening through the strategies. Now let us come to the second thing. Now many people, I think somebody said I was in Pfizer, I was in Glenmark, and then I went to Abbott and then somewhere. लेकिन आप आपके सारे ब्रांड प्लान देखिए, आपके ब्रांड प्लान में चेंजेस नहीं हो रहे. आपका जो सेट ऑफ टॉप, आपके एडबोर्ड्स वही है, आपके CMEs वही है, आपके कैम्प्स वही है, राइट? योर हॉस्पिटल स्ट्रेटेजी इज ऑल्सो सेम. So what I am telling is though, it's not by design, because over a period of time, the government also is putting regulation, and what is in process and what is going to happen in future is the standardization of all the activities. The standardization of all the activities, that means most of the companies beyond 4 to 5 levers are not going to do or will not able to do something different, which you people has experienced, which will get further tight in the coming days. Now, if the person where you wanted to behavior change has insulated, when the activities which was your main weapon is getting standardized, right, then what is that remaining? So the third thing remaining is the people. Now, what Rajput sir said, in our last discussion we were talking, see, unless and until I work very consciously on my people, see, I feel, if you have to look at, what will determine your success after 5 years, if this situation continues, then the company which is having more aligned people or more capable people, that company will be a bigger company compared to a company which is having better strategies or better products. Right? And this is something which I feel, will not come unless you have that as a part of your P&L. Because if you are going to review a P&L head onto direct marketing spend, your fixed marketing, this thing, how you are going to improve GCs and manpower and everything, this component is not there. Unless this component is there, or if a P&L head dares to tell, yes, boss, I would like to have 1% spend only for my people development because this is my next 2-year agenda. So this is something which is going to be the important thing in the coming days. So what I feel is that, if this is going to happen, then you as a marketeer, what is going to approach towards people? Forget what rewards and recognition and Amazon cards you are giving. Beyond that, are you going to add a value to develop skill of your people when you will have this standardized and when you have this insulated? I think that is something, which will determine the success of your brands in the coming days. Digital, I think we had lot of perspectives. I have a little different perspective on digital, and I'll just focus on something very quickly on that. See, everybody reads a Kotler. We have 4 P's of marketing, so there is no dissonance in that. I don't know into marketing. I sit with a marketing legend. He will tell me, Archis, these are the 4 or 5 things you understand. Why? Because there is There is a consensus on that. But if I ask you for digital, you tell me 4 Ds of digital. Everybody has a different version. Like in that Three Idiots film, when Amir Khan was sitting in the college and listening to that lecture, correct? कि मजा आ रहा है. वैसे in digital what's happening? Everybody is just enjoying, but nobody knows what is impact. Nobody knows, what is ROI with that. Can you, in a very beautiful talk, I told that speaker, can you give me one best practice example which has given me actual measurable impact on the business with that? So the answers are not there, but I cannot do anything with the ICICI example. I cannot get influence with the Axis Bank, what it has done, or McDonald's, what it has done. In pharma, if you give me a template, I will able to work on that, and we all are yet to derive or come out with any of such options as of now. I did just one small real world study, so this is just perspective. Why digital is not working today in pharma or not effective in pharma? Because there are perspectives. So I talked with 3 marketing heads of different companies, and I had a word with 3 sales heads of different companies, right? And I asked them 3 questions. The first question I asked, can you just tell me what is definition of digital marketing according to you? So the answers which are coming, one person said a platform to enhance reach, impact and visibility to the target audience with the minimal efforts. Second one said enabler to reach target audience with ease and convenience. Third one said to use digital channels to market product campaigns and penetrate to the target audience. 3 marketing heads of a very respected company, 3 sales heads of a very respected company, correct? They feel additional tool for connecting the customers for product and services. Use of digital tool is like using internet, laptop, mobile, WhatsApp, social media to promote your brand. Selling anything, anywhere, everywhere. Let us summarize the understanding. If you look at what marketeers are saying, correct? The marketeer, if you take out the bullet points from their words, marketeer will say it is about reach, SOV, channel, campaign, segment. What sales guy is looking? He is looking it as an additional tool. He is looking from customer point of view. What is going to be customer connect? What is going to be brand promote? How it will help in selling? Right? Same question. What are the 3 expectations that you have from digital? To the same marketeers, to the same sales guys. Reach, perpetuity, ROI. Ease, speed, segmentation. Reach, low cost, customized approach. What marketeer says. When you come to sales guy, he said customer delight. He should feel happy. Add-on benefits. Customer connect improvement. Improve customer relations, powerful message, digital savvy customers only should be approached, reaching potential buyers quicker, brand building, getting the leads. Let us find out the bullet words from them. What does it mean? So marketing looks at 3 expectations from reach, ROI, speed, customization from point of view. Sales looks from customer delight, customer connect, right? What are the new leads? Everything from sales is asking that digital guy what is going to happen, and everything what the marketing guy is talking from digital is about the standard segment, reach, this and that. It may happen, but unless this is going to get married, how the digital is going to create impact, right? Same thing, what 3 actions you expect to take, for digital marketing. So they said user behavior, content creation, market research for impact, need identification, sustainability, measurability, content marketing, email marketing, social media marketing. So there are more channel discussion is happening. Talk about salespeople, they talk about products. He said docplexes, correct? He said media campaign for involving customer needs, creative. It should not be copy paste. It should add value. The message should help back to connect with the doctor, right? It should be precise, influential. The customer experience, including there should be some feedback mechanism. Again, let's summarize the discussions into that. Marketeers are saying content. They are talking market research. They are talking measurability. They are talking social media. Sales guys talking product. They are talking add value to connect back. They talk about interactiveness, right? They talk about the brand hammering into that. So the digital in India, however romantic it looks, there has to be a marriage between the thoughts of the marketeer and the sales guy, which needs to happen over here. So there are 3 simple characteristics. The marketeer psychology for digital is into creativity and glamour, the tech angle robustness in that, the awareness, SOV and impact, the sales angle into that is involvement in execution process. The first feeling that they say, you know, digital should not be independent of me. It should involve me into the process, right? Enabling the customer connect, and there should be visible ROI and impact with respect to sales happening on this. So I would like to end the book, you know, I would like to end it with one of the small stories from the book. See, at the end of the day, pharma market doesn't get operated from Bandra, Lilavati, or, you know, South Delhi. It happens in Bahraich also, correct? It happens in Banda also. और वहाँ पे ऐसा है कि that Bahraich boy or Banda boy first needs to understand many times simple thing rather than see understand the need of digital. Digital will be required to a segment. लेकिन अगर उस बांदा वाले बंदे को आप ये सिंपल बोले कि भैया एसिडिटी जब होती है तो ये रैबिप्राजोल दिया जाता है और इससे ना पेट की जलन कम होती है, ये इतना डॉक्टर को समझाना है. वो बंदा बोलेगा हाँ सर ये अगर इतना बोलना है तो मैं कर दूंगा. लेकिन अगर आप उसको उसके सर पे डॉक प्लेक्सस ये वो चार सारा डिजिटल मार्केट रिसर्च करके उसके सर पे डालोगे, बिकॉज you will get your appraisals for your numbers, correct? And numbers will be brought by 60% people who are staying there. So they will develop over a period of time. But till that time, you know, you need to maintain a balance between your digital. So the fifth and the last skill is that how you balance between your digital skill and the acumen over there. So I think that ends my presentation. So thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Joshi, for sharing the very wonderful insight with us. To present Mr. Joshi with a bouquet of flowers and a memento. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.